And I refer to this as the leaky bucket. If there's a leak in our bucket, we need to find the biggest hole and patch it, because that's where we can spend the most effective piece of our time. So I want to walk you through a little bit on how do we identify what's happening with retention and how do we predict what's going to happen next year. So we do this exercise with our executives and we walk them through this. So you're at the decision-making table and we're asking you to help fix this problem. Right now, all the information you have is our retention rate currently is 47%. Nero, put together a plan to fix that. And you're like, I don't really know what to do. That's not enough information. What am I supposed to do from there? Then we say, okay, your retention rate by member type is this. And I look at this and it's a little tiny on some of your screens, but my affiliate member is 19%. That's the lowest bucket for me. And you say, well, Greg, we should do something for our affiliate members. That's the lowest bucket in our program. We need to fix that hole. And then I say, let's take a historic perspective. Let's look at our retention over the last couple years and see what the trend line tells us. And my affiliate membership is certainly terrible. It's been bad forever though. This is not a surprise. It's not net new information that this is not going well. What is net new is my student membership. This actually was pretty good back in 2016. It was blended together with everything else, normalized, and then it started to decline. Why is this bucket going down? So this is how we can identify we did something to affect our student membership. We changed something, we updated something. What did we do to break that? How do we go fix that? So you get a completely different understanding of retention when you look at those three different metrics. This is the one I really want to get to the answer to what should I do. Then we look at pieces like when do members renew? So when we set up that renewal campaign, each one of these rows here is a year, and each one of these buckets is when our members expected to renew based on data. So here we can say in 2020, most of our members are going to renew before expiration. That's good. We should start sending those emails then. But some people are going to forget and it's going to take them a month or two. So these members out here, 2 to 3 months out, they're renewing. But these people out here, I'm still sending emails 3 to 6 months after they've expired, and no one's renewing. So the question is, why am I sending an email? It's probably just annoying those former members, not re-engaging them and pulling them back in. So here we can decide we should set our renewal campaign up to stop at 3 months. Everything I've shown so far is what has happened in the past. This is about what's likely to happen in the future. So here's where we get into the real good data science. We have built a logistics regression model into this around your membership data. And we custom build this just for you. We built a page that describes how this works. We talk to you about the business questions. We define all the key terms. And then we link to training so you can watch videos on it as well. We'll explain the model. So we've chosen these candidate variables based on the math. And we've looked at all the different variables, things your members could have or things your members could do. And we've looked at which one of those in the past couple years caused someone to renew or not. And what we come up with is if members have or do these things, they're highly likely to renew, and there's a weighting behind each one of them. And if members have or do these things, they're very unlikely to renew. And then we do all the work to figure out what's going to happen this year. So far, who's done those good things and who hasn't done those bad things? Who has those demographics? And we break the answer up into deciles. So each one of these is a bucket of members. Members in this top bucket renew at an 85% rate. These members love you. Members in these bottom buckets are only renewing at a 15% rate. Not so much in love with you. How do we identify the differences and how do we figure out what to do with that? If I knew this, would I send both of them the same renewal campaign? Do I even expect these members should get a bill? Is the next email this member needs is a bill from us? Probably not the best next step for them. And then we can unpack this data in tons of ways, looking at how the points are distributed, what each activity would give you, modeling the relationship between that activity and members. Each one of these dots is a member, and it plots where they fall on the regression, and then telling you more about those predictors, how they're working, what is causing members to do different things. So this is a really important piece because this is going to allow you to look into the future and predict what's likely to happen, not just relying on what has happened in the past. So now we've addressed problem number one. We've started to look at our leaky bucket. We found our holes. We set up a better renewal campaign. We predicted what was likely to happen and treated members differently. But I want to get to the true cause of lack of renewal is they weren't engaged. If we look at why members don't renew, the number one reason consistently is they weren't engaged. The number two reason is they left the industry. I don't think I can fix that. But if they're not engaged, they're not renewing. So tracking engagement is so important. Now, the way we track engagement is we do a workshop with you and we ask the question, what is value? What does a member do that equals value? And this is different for every organization. And unfortunately, value is scattered around our technical ecosystem. So in my world, I say value is being on a committee, and I track that in one system. Value is participating in my community. I track that in another system. Coming to my meetings other, which are my virtual conferences and my LMS. Coming to my meetings major, my physical event. Buying stuff. All of these things are value, and they live in different places, and they also have different weighting. So you get one donut, but the donut can be broken up into whatever types of segments you want. Now, it's not just a point system. You're going to get points at the end, but it's not just every email I open is 1 point. That doesn't make sense. What we do is ranked deciles. So each one of those buckets, we take all the activity in a ranked decile, and then we assign the points evenly across. So Nero, who opens every email, doesn't get 1,000,000 points and blow the score out of proportion. We also apply decay. So Lauren came to the conference last year. That's really good. I came 3 years ago. It's still important, but we want to decay that over time so it's less valuable in our weighting model. And we typically decay it by a third every period that we've calculated it. Then we want to normalize the score. I've seen engagement scoring where my score might be 5,902. I think, is that good or bad? I don't really know what that means. So we've normalized it 1 to 100. We'll answer a lot of questions about this. How is your membership distributed across that population? Again, you have the drill throughs here to explore that. We'll blend all those lines together and show you, is your engagement over time increasing or decreasing? Right now, our customers are seeing a decrease in their physical meetings. Their major meeting bucket is going down. What are you as an association doing to help increase the other buckets so overall member engagement doesn't dip during this challenging time? We want to unpack this data in dozens of different ways. Things like doing cohort analyses, one segment versus another. What does this population look like versus that population? But ultimately, what we want to get to is a profile for a person. So here's Carrie. Carrie is one of my members. Carrie has a 99. That's phenomenal, right? Almost impossible to get a 99. Carrie's currently a member. That's good news. I would be a little concerned if she wasn't. And what has Carrie's journey looked like? So here recently, I can see there was a big spike in engagement. Carrie did something really exciting, and we wanted to note that. And it was this blue thing happened here. So if I click on this, I can see that Carrie has now joined this committee. She's now our education committee secretary. That's what we wanted to get. Now, let's go back and rebuild that journey. If we're going to create a journey for our members to follow, we want to know what success looks like. Success for Carrie looked like renewing and joining a committee. That was what we wanted. So how did we get this member there? What were all the milestones that occurred along the route to get this member ultimately to where we wanted them to go? I don't know if this is as relevant for you, but we can roll all those people up into organizations. So if you wanted to track organization engagement, we can do that. We want to answer questions with engagement scoring. Things like who is engaged from a demographic standpoint, which members in this area or location or certified, people who've made this purchase, are they engaged or not? And how does that work? We want to break it up and say, these are the members, dues paying members with no engagement. I'm fairly certain these people are not going to renew because they're not doing anything with you right now. We also want to tell you who are the highly engaged non-members. This is where we start to get to that prospect list. So these people did that thing last year. In this world, it came to my conference, but not everybody who came to the conference is worthwhile. They're all worthwhile, but they're not all worth targeting today. Let's say that. These people were the highly engaged members who participated in specific activities. I want the list of these people, and I want to know what they did so I can target them with specific messages about why that's going to be valuable for them to join.